My oldest son, Drew, was born August 25th, 2014, and he was born with a complex mix of heart defects, HLHS, and TAPVR. He was born with half of a heart, and the veins around his heart were not moving the blood that they were supposed to. He was inpatient, had one open heart surgery, one open chest surgery, several cath lab procedures, several infections and collapsed lungs, and really struggled with a ventilator. And unfortunately, after 77 days of being inpatient and not being able to go home with us, he passed away due to complications of the mix of heart defects. My rainbow is Dylan Christopher. He was born on October 26th, and we found out that he would be arriving on what would have been Drew's 6-month birthday, and was a total surprise. We had decided and discussed pretty openly that we most likely weren't going to have more kids, and so that was a very big surprise. And Dylan was born happy and healthy and perfect and the cutest little guy in the whole world. And we named his middle name after Drew's favorite doctor, Christopher, so that's why he ended up being Dylan Christopher. It's more like morphed into a different kind of grief. I still have really bad days. I still have a lot of depression issues and anxiety issues. But having Dylan to live for and to get up for and to work hard for has made a big difference in my overall outlook on life. And just the way I interact with him really makes me feel better about myself and better about my mothering skills, and helps me to be able to connect to my rainbow Dylan by knowing how precious life is with a child and how important those little moments are, and how important what a small milestone that someone may see as not that big of a deal, it is a big deal to me, because I know what it's like to stop having milestones and wonder what the milestone would be like as we come up on what would have been Drew's 3rd birthday. We talked pretty openly about what would he want for a birthday party, what would he want, what would be his favorite toy. So when I make decisions like that and ask Dylan things like that, it makes a big difference to my grief. It makes a big difference to all of it, because I get to do those things with Dylan that I was never able to do with Drew. So grief is still very real and grief is still very hard, but I'm able to maintain, and I think that's due a lot to my faith and a lot to Dylan. I would encourage you to take the pressure off of yourself. Yes, it's a huge deal to have a rainbow baby. Yes, it makes a big difference in your life, and may make it look like things will be 10 times better if you have a rainbow baby. But trying to work through your grief and going through the therapy and going through whatever coping skills you need to use during this waiting time is so important. I don't know if I would have had to pick a time frame if we decided to have another kid prior to Dylan arriving, if I would have picked so soon. Having that extra time with your grief and with your memories and with learning how to live, I just think is really important. So taking time with your spouse, and I'm a big believer in therapy, and taking a trip and taking time for yourself and taking time for your marriage, because losing a child is the hardest thing that anyone has ever had to go through ever. So yes, waiting for your rainbow baby is hard, really hard, but taking that time to focus on yourself and focus on your marriage is also really important. So I just say to take the pressure off of yourself, and when it happens, every baby is going to be a miracle and a gift from God, and that precious present that will come, but taking whatever time you're given to focus on yourself and focus on your grief and focus on your marriage, I feel like is very important.